Alrighty, let's get started with Module 5, Lesson 33. And in this lesson, we are going to subtract a mixed number from a mixed number. Last lesson, we subtracted a fraction from a mixed number. This time, we're going to go mixed number, subtract from a mixed number. Well, let's get to it. All right, so basically this lesson continues where lesson 33 left off, and that is we're subtracting a number. Let's say we have 4 and 3/8, and we're going to subtract them from that. In our last lesson, we just subtracted just a fraction. So in the last lesson, maybe we just subtracted 5/8 from it. Well, in this lesson, we're going to have a mixed number, so we'll just... Now, really the only difference is we're going to just subtract, well, we can subtract out the 2 first, and then we can subtract out the rest. We would have 2 and 3/8, and then we're going to subtract 5/8 from that. Would be the same thing. Well, that kind of makes sense. Well, what would this look like if we were to, let's show this on a number line. Now, basically, we know that subtraction is just the reciprocal operation of addition. So what if we started, just hang with me here for a minute. Let's say we start at, we're going to start at 2 and 5/8, and then work our way up to 4 and 3/8, because it's the same thing. So we could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could start at 2 and 5/8, and then we could work our way up. Well, let's see, how many to get to 3, the whole number 3? That would be plus 3/8. Okay. Then we want to get to 4, the next whole number, right here. That would be plus 1 whole. And then we want to get to, finally, we want to get to 3/8 more. 1, 2, 3, 3/8 more. 2, 3, so plus 3/8. Now what we just did in a very tricky way is we added to subtract, because what we did is we started here at the 2 and 5/8, and we said, okay, well, how much do I need to add to that to get to the answer 4 and 3/8? Well, now we just simply add all this up. We have 1 whole, so this is going to be equal to 1 whole and 3, 6, 7/8. 1 and 7/8. So there's one way to do it. Okay, and this counting up way, we can show the counting up way the same way, but with the arrow method. It's exactly the same thing. We start at 2 and 5/8. 2 and 5/8. We say, okay, well, how many more to get to 3? Well, to get to the next whole number, which is 3, that's going to be plus 3/8. Well, then we need to get to 4 and 3/8, so we're going to need to do another one plus 1 whole. Okay, plus 1 gets me to 4 wholes. And then how many more to get to 4 and 3/8? Plus 3/8. So once again, we end up with our answer being 1 and 7/8. Okay? 1 and 6/8. I'm sorry, that's 1 and 6/8. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, let's get that corrected, because we don't want to have a mistake up here. That just no. 1 and I did it again. It's 1 and 6/8. Well, there's a good reason for doing things more than once. It's 1 and 6/8. 3 and 3 is 6. Okay, not 7. So our answer here is 1 and 6/8. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's a way to do it. Okay. Well, how could we do it another way? Well, let's try this in a different method. Okay, or actually, we could try this method again. This adding up way. Let's see. Let's do another example. Okay, now with this example, we won't do the number line this time, but we're going to start with 1 and 8/12, and we're going to try to get all the way up to 2 and 5/12. All right, well, how much do I have to add to get to the whole number 2? Well, I have to add 8 and 4/12, so I have to add 4/12 plus 4/12. And then to get to 2 and 5/12, I need to add, I need to add 5/12. I don't know why that took so long, 5/12. So my answer is just going to be, I don't have any whole numbers here. I just have to add this number and this number. So my answer is going to be 9/12. Well, you could check that too, because you could add 1 and 8/12 plus 9/12, and you would get 1 and 17/12, which we can make 12/12 and 5/12, and that equals 2 and 5/12. So it does work. The answer is indeed, it's getting lost in all this stuff, 9/12. So there's another way to do it. But what if we didn't have any whole number in our answer? What if we had a bigger whole number in our answer? Like, try this one using the arrow method on for size. Try 9 and 2/6. And from that, we're going to take away 3 and 5/6. Pause the video and see if you can do the arrow method. Alrighty, how'd you do? Well, it was a little tricky because in this counting up method, you had to get to the first whole number, which is 4, but we need to get all the way up to 9, so we need to add 5 whole numbers to get up to 9, then add the rest of the fraction, which is 2/6. So we have 5 as your whole number, and then we have 1/6 and 2/6. So we have to add the 1/6 and 2/6 to make 3/6. That's our 5 and 3/6. All right, well, let's get to the next method of subtracting a mixed number from a mixed number. Okay, in the next method, we're going to just subtract the whole number first, just sort of like what we did when we were adding two mixed numbers. We added the whole numbers first. We can do that here too. So let's add those two together. So we get we're going to subtract the 2 from the 11. So we're going to get 9 and 1/5. Then we're going to take away 3/5. Well, we cannot take away the 3/5. So what we can do though is we can take away 1/5. Okay, and if we did that, that would leave us with 9. Okay, we took away 1/5, but then we still need to take away 2/5 more. So we have 9 holes, and we think about this. We have 9 holes now, but from one of those holes, we need to take 2 slices away, which leaves us 3. So actually, what we're going to end up with is 8 and 3/5. Well, how is it 8? Because if we take away this 1/5 right here, that just leaves us with 9. If we have 9 holes and we take away 3/5, then that means, or take away 2/5, because we're going to have 2/5 left here, then that leaves us with 8 and 3/5. Well, what would that look like with the arrow method? We can do subtracting in the arrow method. We can start off with this 9 and 1. We can start off with the 9 and 1/5. Think about that. And how many do I subtract to get to 9, the whole number? That's going to be 1/5. But I still have this 2/5 here still left to deal with, so I need to subtract 2/5 from that. And if I subtract a fraction from that whole number, I know that's going to reduce that whole number, because you could think of it as 8 and 5/5. You can think of it that way. So it's going to be 8, and then 5/5 take away 2/5 is 3/5. So that's the next method. Okay. And again, don't worry so much if you don't get this right away. You're going to get a lot of practice in the problem set, doing them different ways. So let's go ahead and pause it and get to our next method. All right, we're going to start off with 11 and 1/5, take away 2 and 3/5 again. But this time, what we're going to do is take away, well, start off as usual, take away the whole number. So that gives us 9 and 1/5. But this time, what we're going to do is we're going to decompose this number into 8 and 1/5 and 1 whole. What are you doing? Well, from that we need to take away 3/5. Well, I can look at this and go, oh, okay, so what I end up having is I got my 8 1/5 here, so I have 8 1/5. But to that, I took a whole one away, but I was only supposed to take 3/5 away. So I need to add back in 2/5, and that equals 8 3/5. That's just a tricky way of doing it. See, I took away a whole one to get 8 1/5, but I didn't want to take away a whole one. I only needed to take away 3/5. So from that 1, that's 5/5 to make away 3/5 is 2/5. Add them together, and I get 8 3/5. So that is your last method, and you'll get lots of practice on the problem set. So, well, maybe before I sign you off, try one using that method. I'll give you one to do using that method before we sign off. Pause the video and try. Well, first, this is the one I would like you to try, which would be, let's try 4 and 7, 4 and 5, 4 and 1/8, 4 and 1/8. Take away 1 and 7/8. Pause the video and try it with this method. Alrighty, how'd you do? You should have ended up with 2 and 2/8 if you did. Woohoo! You got it right. Good for you. 2 and 2/8. Now, nothing left to do but onward and upward to the problem set we go. Oh, 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 the problem set we go. Psst, video's over. Get to the problem set.